You doing the intro?
Sure. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit so I look like I'm. If I get closer to the camera, I look a little taller.
But you're not.
No. I could do the things where they break your legs, and they Bryson's like my niece. They may do that. They actually I don't know. They either stretch your legs, or what you can do is you can actually go in and break your bones, and then they can separate them. I don't know if they put something in there or if they just let the bones fuse again. I don't know what it is.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Does it make you taller?
Yeah.
Is it worth it?
I think you can only get a couple inches out.
It's not gonna help you.
It's probably it's probably expensive too. I would imagine it's yeah, I don't know. But she's actually gonna have to do it. Apparently they have to do some sort of growth treatment because they're tiny. With Turners you end up being smaller, they end up being 5 foot or something.
So that's all my sister is, and she's normal.
It's 5 inches more or less than I am. But my family's already tiny.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't know if it's 5 feet and then they stop, or is it dependent on how tall you are and
You just end up shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for your family.
No. That would be the smallest person in my family. By far.
Which is odd, because everyone's small in your family.
Everyone's tiny in my family.
Your dad is not... Are you the same height as your dad?
Mm-hmm.
Your mom is so
My mom was
small.
tiny. You should have seen my grandma before she passed away. Dude, she was up to my shoulder. I saw her progressively getting shorter. And I'm like, it's kind of weird. I would only ever see her once a year or something, and she's kept getting shorter.
Shorter every time.
And I'd walk in, and everyone in my family is so short that I was the tall one for a long time.
You know, it's funny. Every time I go to hug my grandma, I don't feel like I'm squeezing her that hard, but she's like, ah! I'm just like, dude, sorry, grandma.
She's like, oh, you're just so big.
I'm just like, you hurt me every time you hug me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm trying not to. I consciously think about it. I'm just like, eh.
I think she's just trying to make you feel good. She's like, oh, you've just been lifting so many weights. You're just so strong.
No, I think I actually hurt her. My other grandma would. This one's a little bit more not over-exaggerative. That's not a word, but my grandpa. My grandpa. Her husband would be the one that would try to make me feel good for being big, but not her. And then on my other side, my grandma definitely would. Oh, you're so big, so strong. Actually, my grandpa pinches my nipples.
That's weird.
Dick.
That's a weird thing to do.
He's awesome. I love him. He's actually my Wayne. I picked his name from my middle name.
Oh, nice.
Because he's really important to me.
Huh.
But he's weird sometimes. Remember, it was right around when we were going to get married. I opened the door and I got I have a tank top on or something.
Mm-hmm.
My nipple's probably poking out. And he's just like, eh. I'm just like, hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Grandpa.
Anyways, we could start.
Probably good. Welcome back to Not Broke, Not Rich. I always feel like intros are a little weird, but at least people know what they're watching.
Hopefully. I'm Nick.
I'm Tanner. And we have no idea what we're going to talk about.
No,
We've already been talking for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
About nipple pinching and grandparents.
Well, let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, what have you been up to?
So, I've actually been doing a lot this week. So I started on Wednesday. So my schedule is already super, super tight in the morning. But what I found is that it's so tight. Literally, I get up and I'm moving until I'm leaving the house. I didn't have time to see my wife or my boy. So what I started doing is I actually just kind of made a schedule. And I was like, okay, so I want to kind of extend it out, so I need to get up at least a half an hour early. I didn't want to do a full hour where I want to be, because then it would just be a pain in the ass. I need to at least do it in like half-hour increments. So next Wednesday, I'm going to 4:30. So I was trying to get like some ideas, and I listened to Ed Milet's book, like after I had kind of figured out my schedule. I'm like, holy shit! Like his schedule is nearly identical to what I've been doing. So I just took a few extra things of his and kind of put him in. And dude, the biggest thing has been getting up and taking 10 or 15 minutes and actually like going over the things that I'm like grateful for and thankful for and getting myself excited for the day. Because for a long time I would just get up and be like, shit, I have to be awake, I have to go to work, I have like this deal I have to work on, I have to go talk to this customer, or I have to work, a 12-hour shift, and I would just bum myself out. And I'd work out and it'd be okay, but I found myself not having a good morning.
Well, yeah, because you started off being negative and shit.
Dude, I didn't realize what I was doing though, and so like the spending those 10-15 minutes like just getting myself ready for the day, like mentally, dude, it's changed everything about my days. Like I don't get bummed out halfway through the day, and
That's only 3/4 of the way through the day, right?
Is that because what?
Instead of halfway, it's 3/4, so you make it a little bit farther, and then you get bummed out.
No, only if it's a Saturday and I have to deal with 7 customers that are there to just walk around. But no, I mean it's been actually great, and my mentality throughout the day's been phenomenal. I'm actually really excited, and then I really need to get to 4:30. 4:30 would be, I think, my go-to wake up. But actually, I slept in today, which I shouldn't have, but I didn't feel like guilty for sleeping in.
Well, how long did you sleep in for?
I slept until 7.
That's when I got up.
Yeah, but I mean, like I was supposed to get up at 5. But the thing is that I didn't feel guilty about it because I'm like I've been working a lot, and I actually felt like okay, my body kind of needed that, and I was able to get up and get ready and do this.
I just thought of something. So, little religious on this. I mean, it is Sunday after all. The whole creation story. There's a lot to think about when you think about the whole part of it, but I don't want to talk about it a little bit. But you know how God worked every single day, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he rested?
Yes.
The thing that a lot of people don't realize about that is he worked every single day, and then he rested.
Yeah.
He earned that rest, and that's why, if you sleep in a little bit, one day out of the week, I mean, 7's still earlier than most people get up on Sunday.
Yeah.
But you gotta earn that, and then it's fine.
I think that's probably it, right? Is I felt like I earned it. When I woke up, I was like, I seriously was like, oh god, that was nice. Been getting up at 5 every morning for the past however many. Well, there's a couple times I slept in a little bit, but not like hours. It was like 10, 15 minutes. Just because I'm not really used to getting up at 5 every morning, so it's like I just lay there. I'm like, fuck. I just lay there until I decide to quit being a pussy.
Well, then another thing with it is it's really important for that rest day, and that's why, as far as most religions go, they basically require it because you need that rest in order to be able to do it again.
Yeah.
Because you don't so much.
Work out on Sundays too.
Well, only because my schedule currently doesn't do that, but it depends on what my workout schedule is. So currently it's Monday through Saturday, but what I was doing before was 4 days on, 1 day off. And so then I would work out on Sundays. Yeah. I actually like working out on Sundays because we live in Utah. There's no one at the gym.
Yeah.
It's like super dead. So, but the only reason I don't now is because my coach has me Monday through Saturday.
I like working out every day. Like I'll do like a light workout if I'm feeling tired, but I don't know. Because I really want to do 75 hard. So I want to be in the groove of working out every day.
Well,
2 workouts is going to be.
But that's why our goals are different. I have to rest if I want to be able to achieve what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah.
I don't like to. I would go to the gym every day if I could.
Yeah.
But if I do that, then I won't grow because I'm not allowing my body the opportunity to grow.
Yeah. Dude, I'm up almost 5 pounds now.
Dope.
But I'm doing it right, because the last time we had like that weight loss or for me gain competition, I just ate and then just worked out, and I which I just had a fucking gut, which is like saying a lot because I don't get one. But now it's been like very slow but very consistent, and I feel a lot better.
Well, slow and consistent is the only way to get real things.
Yeah, last time I just had, I think we did it for a month or something. I had 30 days to gain weight, and then it's funny because I gained like 10 pounds like immediately, and then just plateaued. Like didn't get past it. I think I ended up at 11 pounds higher, and then I just lost it all when I stopped eating that much. Yeah. What about you? You've been doing anything?
Well, I've been kind of just doing what I'd said I was going to do. Obviously I get up early anyways because I got to go to the gym before work. I'm usually up by 4:30. My problem and what I need to work on is I get up and then I just lay there and don't do anything for a while. And I still end up at the gym as if I had slept in for longer. So I'm not utilizing my time well. I'm getting up, but I'm not doing it well. So I need to do better at moving forward once I do get up. But I still get up, I still pray, and grateful. With that prayer that I do in the morning is almost entirely focused on just things that I'm grateful for, because I have a lot to be grateful for, even though I don't have a lot of the things that I want. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important. We always need to be grateful for what we have, but there's a difference between being grateful and being satisfied.
Yeah.
I'm not satisfied with what I have. That would be awful if I lived in the same situation I'm in for the rest of my life.
That's what most people do.
I know, but that sounds like death while you're alive. Mm-hmm. It just sounds awful.
Dude, it's like, so I heard a quote the other day in one of the videos I was listening to, and it was like, well, there was two. It was one that said, everyone dies, but not everyone lives. And then another one was, the graveyard is the wealthiest place in the world. Because there's so many people that are dead that had so much potential and could have done so much, but just never did. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, that's been like, so, I've been thinking a lot about, like, my whys. I don't think we talked about this last time.
I thought we did a little bit, but I can't remember.
I know that you and I talk about this a lot, though. So
Mm-hmm.
I boiled it down to two things, like why I do like what I do. Not like why I go to work or make money, but just do like everything. I actually have them written down on there. Because I remember at my wedding when I was doing my vows, and I vowed to Brooke that I would give her everything that she needs and everything that she wants. Which, I don't think anyone actually heard what I said. I promised a woman that I was going to give her everything that she wants. Which, dude, I'll tell you what, nothing cuts through the bullshit faster. Because before, dude, it was like, she's like, I just want like, a modest house with like a little bit of land. And now, she's sending me like Zillow pages of like a $6 million house like in Park City or something with like, a bunch of land or like on the side of a mountain. So
yeah.
So the way I've been looking at it is every time I come home, so like if I didn't do enough at work or if my day if I didn't like win the day, right? Then I have to go home and face Brooke. And then she always asks me how my day is, and then that's when I like evaluate. I'm like, because I always want to tell her like, it was great, it was awesome, but then I have to look at it and be like, fuck. Didn't get any closer to getting you that $6 million house.
Yeah.
And then real quick, so the second one, which is like the big one. I mean, obviously, like getting Brooke everything is like top of my list. But dude, yes. So I've been doing something that is. It's funny. I just started doing it, and I look back and I'm like, that's kind of fucking crazy. So every time when I go to bed, I lay there before. Not every time, but for the most part. I lay there and just in the dark, and I imagine instead of being on my bed in my house, I try to visualize myself in like a hospital bed, or I'm on my deathbed, and then I review my day, and then I review like my life, and I just kind of like psych myself out and be like, okay, as soon as my eyes close and I go to bed, I don't have any more. Like, I'm just dead. Like, am I okay with where I'm at right now? It's probably not healthy because it keeps me up a little bit later, but dude, that is like, it's a cliche to say like we only live once, but dude, when you like visualize yourself laying there like, okay, I'm gonna be asleep in 15 minutes and my life is done. Like, that has changed so much about how I look at life. I've actually been a lot more like engaged with my family, and that's one of the big reasons why I wanted more time. That's why I changed like my schedule. So just like that one why made me change my day completely. Is that it?
No.
So we actually have to set a timer on Nick's phone here because we found out that our camera only records in 30-second chunks, and I can't change it.
No, that was Bixby. Bixby is the worst.
Bixby is the worst.
Just randomly pops up when I'm watching YouTube videos and pauses it and asks what I want. Like, I didn't ask for you. I don't like you. And then I tried to disable it and it's like, no, you're stuck with me. I'm like, well, fuck.
See, mine's Google. My Google thing pops up all the time, and I mean, there's been times where I'm just listening to music and it just pops up and it's like, did you need me?
No.
No, I didn't.
I've never needed you.
There's actually no words going on. It's just music.
That's funny, yeah. But no, so just the whole still doing what I say I'm going to do has been very, very, very cool. Actually, I get up, pray, and I read, and then I go to the gym. But at work, I set goals for this month, and I basically spoke it into existence. Like, last pay period is one of the best pay periods I've ever had, following terrible months, like in a row. I just did awful, 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 awful. And I was just sick of it. That's why I changed everything. I was like, I gotta start in the morning different because what I'm doing is not working. And you know, for this month, I set out a goal to make $7,000 each pay period, and I made $7,100 last pay period. I did what I said I was gonna do. I took my wife to Vegas for our anniversary. I told her I was gonna do that. I told her I was going to afford it, and that it wasn't gonna stretch us thin. And going from having no money to making basically a quarter of what I did last year in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Was pretty cool.
It's funny how just making a decision changes things. Like, I feel like a lot of people just kind of hope that things are going to happen to them.
And don't do anything about it?
Yeah. But it's like, so the more that you focus on something, like, you're going to find what you focus on. And again, it's one of those cliches, right? Like, what you look for is what you're going to find. But it's so true. And that's actually what kind of drives me crazy about cliches, is that they're true.
That's why they're cliches.
Yeah, but they're so overused.
That's why stereotypes are stereotypes too, but we don't want to get racist.
I can't dance.
We can't dance.
I'm the worst.
I can't jump. White men can't jump.
But yeah, so I mean, the more you focus on something, you get it. And it happens a lot quicker than you think too.
Yeah.
Maybe not like your huge goals, but like you can see the progression of, like, I want to get to here, and then the more you focus on it, you're like, oh, all of a sudden it becomes so much easier. And it's the good and the bad. Like, if you think that you're going to, if you're constantly thinking to yourself about, you know, I hope I don't have a bad day, then you're probably going to have a bad day. Or at least focus on the things that make them bad. Whereas if you're just like, no, I really hope I have a good day, and it just happens.
Well, it's the whole law of attraction thing. It's been proven. The things you think about and focus on the most, what happens?
There's actually a word for it. I don't remember what. I think Ed Milet was talking about it. But yeah, it's something that like legitimately just happens in your brain. Like, when you're focused on something, your brain tends to like pick it out. It's the whole, you know, if you drive a, I think Milet was saying, like, if you drive a blue Honda or whatever, you're gonna see a lot of blue Hondas.
Yeah, because it becomes important to your brain.
Yes.
And then it finds it.
Yep.
Whereas before it was just something your brain filtered out without even trying.
Yeah, because you just don't care
matter
about it. It's so strange, and that just means that all the stuff that you want and need, it's already there. Like, you just have to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's important to figure out like your goals and your whys, so that you know what to look for. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, then it's just you're looking for a black cat in a dark room.
Well, if you're kind of just wandering around, you're not going to find anything really.
Mm-mm. And that's the thing, is that it's so, I think about this a lot. Like, I actually do it like when I'm driving down to like work. So I look at everyone around me, and I wonder how many people are driving by me are thinking about anything like this, or they just drive to work, go back, drive to work, go back. They're not thinking about. They don't have to do that, or at least while they're driving, they could be like figuring something out. Because all of my like biggest, kind of on a side note, all of my biggest like realizations come from when I'm driving to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like so pumped up after a workout, and especially this week where I've had like a good time with my family in the morning, then that 40 minutes of driving, that's when I start thinking about everything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know, it's funny, so I'm a very high energy person, as you know, and when I'm driving, one thing I don't see a lot of people do, just in general, is smile. Like, the majority of people just aren't happy.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like, doing everything I've been doing, my main goal in life, I want to be happy. There's a lot of things that I have that I want focusing on, which are going to make me happy, but I want to be happy on the inside. You know, they say that once you hit like 70, 80 grand a year, any additional money actually doesn't bring any more happiness. Which is interesting.
I beg to differ.
Why?
I think because it's not money that brings happiness, it's the things that you can do.
Well, yeah.
Like, back when I was making that, like, I couldn't do what I'm trying to do right now, which is what I'm going to do, which is just pay off a vacation and then go to Florida, Brooke. I mean, and literally, I just have enough to just, I could just throw it at it, but like right now, I can make enough, and I know I can, to just take her out to Florida and spend like more money than I've probably ever spent, but like, I mean, I don't know. Why do you say that though?
Which part?
If you make, once you go above 80 grand, it doesn't buy any more happy, or you don't get any happy.
Well, because there's a lot of people that make millions of dollars a year that are just not happy. They hate their life. Things just aren't going well for them, and and then there's people that make less. Like, I've met people in Romania that make no money, that are just happy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I want to be happy. And when I see all these people without goals in life, and I think that like, it's not the amount of money that I'm trying to make, the amount of things I'm trying to do that's going to make me happy. It's the pursuit of all of those things. And I think about that when I'm driving, and I see all these people that just aren't happy with life, and they're just not trying to do anything.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me sad, honestly. Like,
did you watch that video that I put up? So we've got 2 videos on the channel right now. Did you watch the other one?
No.
Okay, you should.
Okay.
But I'll just give you just the Reader's Digest version of it. I was just thinking about it like, I think it's like while I was working out or something. So I thought it was kind of cool. Like, so like life is like a very weird foot race. So bear with me.
Because I don't like running?
Yeah. So, like, imagine, so like it's like right before you, like if you're training for a race, right? You probably have like a coach, right? So you can look at that as like your people in school and things like that, like people like your teachers, your the people around you, even your parents, right? And then they all teach you things, right? They give you the best gear for running. They teach you how to run. Here's how your foot placement should be, things like that, right? And you spend a lot of time training for this race, and then once you get to that, you're sitting on the start line, right? and you're there with all your peers. And you're all lined up. You're all ready to go. You're fucking pumped. You're like, okay, this is what I've been training for. Everything I've been doing has led up to this moment. And then, the people around you, or the people that have kind of helped you, they're sitting there and they're ready with the starting pistol, and all of a sudden they yell, go, hit the pistol, and then all of a sudden you realize, you're like, well, where am I running to? And they're like, I don't fucking know. And then they just walk away, and they're like, I'm going to go walk in circles over here. And I was thinking about, after that, some people just kind of start, wander around and don't know what they're doing. Some people just I don't know else. I'm just going to wait for someone to tell me what to do. So they just sit down on the curb or something. And then I imagine actually after when the race starts, walking down a street or something. You don't know where you're going, and you come up to one guy and he's just sitting there and he's like, I'm just waiting. My mentor, my teachers, they'll come find me. They'll come tell me what to do eventually. They're just late. Okay, and you keep walking down, and you find one guy, and he's just walking up and down the street, just from one corner to the next, and you kind of go up to him, what are you doing? Why are you walking from one corner to the other? He's like, I don't know. It's what my dad did when he started the race, and it worked out for him. And you can't tell you why, but he's just okay, and he's just walking back and forth, and then you come up to another guy, and he's just fucking running, he's just sprinting. You kind of have to catch up to him. You ask him what are you doing? Why are you just running? He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go run up to the top of that mountain, and then I'm gonna run back down. You're like, why? It's what I want to do. I think that's a cool thing to do. I'm gonna go run up to the top of the mountain, and I'm gonna come run back down. You're like, okay. And later on, as you're doing your own race, trying to figure out where you're going, you see the guy again. Except this time he's got a giant rock. What the fuck are you doing with that rock? He's like, oh, I already made it up and down the mountain, so I'm going to carry this load now. I'm going to carry this rock up and down there. And, the point of it is that, as you're living, it's not, there's no set finish line,
mm-hmm.
or that's why you have to create goals, right? You actually, in life, it's a race that you get to decide where your finish line is, or what you are running for. And you can just sit down, and you can sit, and you can play video games, and you can just not do anything with your life, or you can run up a fucking mountain, and then have something to talk about later in life, right? I don't know, I've been visualizing that a lot.
Well, that's the cool thing about success itself. People usually generalize success with money. That's because that's a not a monitor.
Well, it's a number.
It's
you
a
can
number.
Count it.
You can count it, keep track of it, and that is how a lot of people measure success. But success doesn't necessarily mean $1 million or any amount of money. Success is different for everybody. But what's important is that you chase your own success. That you're running after. If it's to run up a mountain, then that's what success is to you. Then awesome, go for it. Success is very personal because we all have our own backgrounds. That's why you and I have very different goals, but they work together because we're trying to get somewhere.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where, I don't know, life is weird, and I think people get freaked out about it. Whether they understand it or not, I think people need to understand that it's literally, you can do whatever you want for the most part, right? As another cliche, right? Don't be an asshole, but you can kind of mold your life and just do whatever you want with it. And I mean, sure, the thing is that if you want to be that guy that just I don't actually want to run, you just want to sit there, I mean, that's fine, but it doesn't make you a better person, it doesn't make society better, it's your life, but you got one chance, so why not do something cool with it? Finding your passion. What are you really passionate about? It's not a big thing I've been thinking about lately.
I'm just going after, you can do whatever you want, and if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live that life.
And those people aren't watching this. We've got 30 seconds. I'm going to restart this.
That's pretty dumb.
So, I have been thinking a lot about like what I'm passionate about and like finding purpose in your life, like whether that is running up a mountain or whether that's swimming across the lake or whatever. But I did realize it's funny. It took me 30 years to figure out what like I'm really passionate about. I don't think it has to take that long, but I think, at least for me, it had to. That's why I really think that people need to really need to see someone succeed, and people really need to sort of have a community of people that are very uplifting, right? And not just uplifting in like a mood, but it's hard to, I'm still like working through it, but like I can figure out that I want to help people really bad. I want people to know that you can actually take yourself out of a situation that you're in and make it better. You don't have to get stuck, and you can achieve a lot more than you think in a very short amount of time if you're willing to actually put in the work, put in the effort.
You know what's funny about passion is I knew what I was passionate about, but I didn't realize I was passionate about it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I've been lifting very consistently and just like kind of bodybuilding for quite some time now, about 8 years.
Yeah.
But it wasn't up until about only a year and a half ago, I was like, maybe not even that long. No, it was only like a year ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't
you started
that
talking
long
to me
ago.
about it. Like,
I realized how passionate about it I was, and that's what I wanted to do.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, well then I gotta do it now. Now that I realize that I'm passionate about it. And funny thing, like I said, I was already passionate about it. Like up until, let's say I got sick in December, and I was out for 3 weeks, and in 8 years, that's the longest I hadn't gone to the gym. In 8 years. It's crazy.
Dude, I think that was about the time where you started like talking about it all the time. When you realized that if you didn't have it, I think that may have been around that point that you were like, oh, this is actually legitimately what I want to do. Like, you always did it, but then as soon as that happened, I knew that you got really upset about it.
It's something that I couldn't live without, and I knew I couldn't live without it, but I didn't realize how much I couldn't live without it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, this is what I need to do then. I just need to put all of my eggs in this basket. I just gotta figure out how to get all those eggs.
Yeah.
Because actually I was listening to a podcast on the way up here with Seth Feroce, and a few other guys, some bodybuilders and things, but they were talking about making money in bodybuilding. But the funny thing about the majority of them is they make money outside of bodybuilding too. Like the sponsorships and shows and things that they make money from is just icing on the cake. And that's also like, because I know that money in bodybuilding isn't consistent, but that's the funny thing about that is that's not where I want my money to come from. I want to be successful, honestly, in real estate, and investing in that and owning lots of real estate. Because that is also cool to me. That's where I want my money to come from. That's where I want my wealth to come from.
Yeah.
So that I can be passionate about the thing I'm really passionate about and accomplishing that.
Yeah, and you and I are similar in that. Like, I want to
be a bodybuilder.
No.
You don't want to be like Seth Feroce. You're like the same height.
Dude, I actually was watching. I was watching some video with him, and he was. I didn't realize like I always knew he was about my height until I watched. I can't remember what video. It was just like him talking and showing like his different companies and stuff. And dude, yeah, I was like, shit, he actually is like my height.
He's like 5'5", 5'6". He's not tall.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't really know what I want to do as far as like physically. I know I just want to be in shape.
Well, here's the thing about physical fitness in general. I don't think what I do.
First of all, that was an aggressive finger.
Well, it's better than yours. At least I have all of mine. Physical fitness is important. It doesn't have to be what I do. In fact, I don't think what I do is very healthy. I know that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things about it that aren't very healthy. However, being physically fit is really important, because this is what you have. If you want to be able to accomplish everything, your body, not only you're internally, externally, mentally, needs to be in a good state.
You have to be. You
Yeah.
have to be.
There's no way that you can accomplish everything you want to accomplish and
If you're sedentary.
be sedentary. No, it's just all the people that we look up, like Grant Cardone. He works out, and Gary Vee works out. Like, all these people, they all work out. Obviously, they're not doing what I'm doing, because I'm trying to be massive as fuck, but
Yeah.
being healthy is important to being successful, whatever your success is. You have to be healthy.
Well, look at, it's funny, so like similarly, before I get to what I was going to get to, like Goggins, dude. Dude, it's not really healthy.
Oh, he's
like
nuts.
He's just, yeah. Dude, he just is about just seeing how much pain he can take, which is actually really cool. I think that that's a very interesting way to live your life. I'm actually fascinated by it. I think that out of all people, if I could meet one person of all these people I listen to, I think he would be one of them, because no one has that mentality. I mean, I'm sure like bodybuilders do, but they're not like going to run ultra marathons.
Yeah, no, it's very like, I push myself through as much pain as possible, but I hate running and I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of pain than because I've done things like that, not that extent, but
Are you going to like the gym and like turning on the heat as hard as you can, and then, because that's what he does. It does these ultra marathons where like you're supposed to take, like, swap out people and like have like these camps and stuff, and he just runs them. Like, he did one in Badwater, whatever it's called, like in the middle of the desert. Like, it's crazy.
yeah, it's a different kind of all-out pain.
Yeah. But that's what he's passionate about.
Yeah.
That's what he's passionate about.
And he does it. It's freaking awesome.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I respect that you know what you want to do, and you have like a good process. Like, for me, it's just different. Like, my big passion is, so I really want to start a program like that Sober House, right? Because if there's people I know how to help, and it's funny, they're the hardest people in the world to help. So it's a big task, but what I did realize is that everything that they try to, it's funny, when you're in rehab, it feels like they're trying to shove it down your throat, which I think is actually something that I can do a lot better. And all the stuff that they taught me there, or tried to teach me there, or whatever, it's the same stuff that successful people teach. It's the exact same thing. Like, the process is the same. All of the, like how I did the, like my vision board, they had you do that in rehab. They try to help you figure out why you want to be sober. And I think that actually incorporating, because they're all just about, here's how you get clean. That's all they focus on. But then they tell you that you have to, it's hard to explain. And I don't know a good way of wording it, because I know that there's a flaw in there somewhere. And I think that if I can find that, and I can actually implement that into some sort of program.
What if the flaw is getting clean is the finish line?
I think that's very close. That's very close.
There's the whole saying is, you can't catch what you're chasing. So if you're chasing being clean,
yeah,
that's why you can't be clean. But if you're chasing what's after being clean, like, for example, in order for me to be a professional, I have to win a pro card. But I'm not chasing a pro card. I'm chasing pro wins.
So you're actually dead on. So the thing is that what happens is that when people get clean, it's like that race, right? They're like, okay, you're clean, and like, what do I do now? They're like, I don't fucking know.
Well, exactly.
Figure it out.
The majority of those people don't. Like, for you and me and you, for example, same thing. Once we accomplish a goal, we're like, okay, cool. What's next?
The next one.
But a lot of people aren't like that. So if you're only focused on this one thing, and you get it, you're like, okay, cool. I don't know what to do now. But you know what I do know?
Is what's behind me. Yep.
Is where all the drugs are.
So here's the thing. So you're actually putting it into words of what I've been trying to figure out. And so I think that So the next step afterwards, so typically what they do is they put you in a transitional house, and that's where I stopped. Because I was like, okay, I don't need someone to tell me what to do. So that's when I left, and I didn't go to that sober house. But then when I was talking with people at the sober house, they were very like just kind of sedentary, and so they reverted back to what they knew in rehab. We're gonna do all of our 12 steps. They did that like once a week. It's like there's only 12. You've been living here longer than 12 weeks, so you should be done. Like you don't need to just keep rehashing them. And that's what they did. They were all just stuck, and then they didn't do anything. They just went to work. They came home, and then they're like, and here's why I want to be sober. Like, you're already fucking sober, dude. Like, okay, we're done with that, so what do we do now?
Gotta do something else.
Exactly. And so it really is, it's about goal setting again, and figuring out, okay, that was my other chapter, my last chapter. How do I now decide how to make my next one? Because you don't want to get stuck in what's comfortable. It all wraps back, and this is what I mean by like sobriety and stuff. We're just getting away from drugs and bad habits and things. It's all the same. Drugs just happen to be, some of them, like the ones I was on, it's a physical addiction. So you actually have to physically detox, and then later you have to work on the mental part. And so being able to fill that gap, and this is the thing I hated about being there, is like you can't get addicted to something else. First time I heard that, I was like, why? And this is why I think this is why I made it out and why they hated me being there.
Why?
Yeah, because it's like, did I ever tell you? It was one time we were sitting in a circle, and they're going to one person like, okay, so so and so, what are you gonna do when you want to use cocaine again? And he's like, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Cocaine Anonymous. I'm gonna go and be with all the people that used to be cocaine addicts. Like, that's a very good, very good. Right? And they go to the next person, like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to go to church. And they're like, yeah, very good, very good. And they keep going down the line, and everyone's just saying, I'm just going to keep coming back. And they get to me, and of course, I'm sitting there and I'm not really paying attention. I'm just trying to think about how to hook up with my wife. They get to me, and they're like, Tanner, what do you... For like a month, that's all I focused on.
And you did it.
I married her, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, go on.
So they're like, they get to me, and there's this one guy, and he hated me, so I always argued with him. In fact, if we didn't want to have class, when the guy would ask a question, everyone just turned to me and just wait for me to just piss him off, because then all we do is just argue for like a half an hour, and then we'd be done with class, we can go to the gym.
Awesome.
But he gets to me, he's like, so what are you going to do, Tanner, when you're, when you want to use again? And I was like, I'm just not going to do it. Dude, the look on this guy's face, he's like, no, that's not a good answer. I'm like, I think that's the best answer.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Yeah, he's like, no, you need to fill it with something. I'm like, then that's what I was like, well, you told us not to get addicted to anything, so what do you want to do now? Like, which one should I... And so we sat there and argued about it, and I'm like, dude, I'm just done. Like, I'm here because I needed to physically get away from it. I needed to learn some tools to help manage it. Or I'm just done. And he kept, like, arguing. It was the weirdest thing. Like, the guy just argued with me, like, that's not right. No, no, no. Turns out, I'm the only one that made it out. So... because I wasn't looking back and I wasn't reverting back to what I was doing before. And yeah, I just think that no matter, so if it's drugs or if it's laziness or if it's bad eating habits or it's being sedentary or an abusive relationship, when you get away from it, even if you hated where you were before, it's comfortable, you know the process. Mm-hmm. You know the process of getting yourself into that hole, but it feels good, it's normal, it's like having a schedule. So if you can get out and then immediately change and then work on having a new process, a new schedule, filling your time, you can do it.
Well, what's funny about the whole addiction thing is Homo sapiens, humans, whatever, are addictive. Like, they are addicted to
helps you
whatever.
Survive.
Yes. I mean, if you're lazy, you're addicted to being lazy.
Yeah.
If you just there's good addictions and there's bad addictions. Now the word addiction unfortunately has a very negative connotation to it, but
yes,
people that are successful are addicted to everything that they're doing.
they just call it something different. They just call it obsession.
That's an obsession is also negative, unfortunately, but that's what it is.
It's funny, I don't think of obsession as a negative.
I don't either, because I'm fucking obsessed with what I do.
Yep.
But a lot of people could look at it. It's the funniest thing. When I was in college, I would go to the gym for like 3 hours a day. It was awesome. But I had friends, roommates, people real close to me, tell me I was going too much. Told me, they like challenged me to go less. I'm like, why? I like being there. I don't like being anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't make sense to me. Like, why would I go do something else? And it's not like I was being dumb. I was being productive. I was there. I was fucking like 21 years old, 22, so I had the energy. My body could handle it. I wasn't doing anything that was going to risk anything.
Yeah, but they weren't doing it. That's the thing, is that people who are not obsessed with something, they don't like seeing people who are obsessed. I don't think that people do it consciously, but they do think that, well, I think probably what unconsciously is going on is they're like, I don't like that they are so driven for something, because that's not in my life. It's that unfamiliarity. Doesn't sound right. That's what it is. It's like, it makes people uncomfortable.
And people want to be comfortable.
Yes.
And so they want you to not do what you're doing so they can feel better about themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is unfortunate. A lot of people, like you said, it is very subconscious. A lot of people don't realize that they're doing it. Mm-hmm. Some people do, but...
Yes. It's so funny. You and I have two things. Yours is like weightlifting and mine's drugs. Or getting away from drugs. But dude, it was so weird. I would see, they made us go to 12 steps, and I hated it. Because, dude, it was just the saddest group of people in the world. And it's funny, because a lot of them, were clean, but they would all just get in this room, this dark room. A lot of times in, some church that, only, 6 people go to, right? It's so strange. And they all just sit in this dark room, and they're all just fucking hunched over with their coffee, and they're like, okay, who has a terrible story? And there's always one person that's like, it's me, I'll talk every week about this, and they go up there and they're like, my life is awful. My life was awful, and everyone's like, I understand, yeah, my life was awful too, and it still is, and I'm still struggling. And dude, I remember sitting there, I was sitting in the back, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, you all, they all feel like drug addicts still. Dude, no one can ever guess that I would have been a hardcore drug addict.
I know, that's why it's really funny when people find out.
Yeah. It's actually really funny.
Oh yeah, I did a lot of drugs for years.
It was a problem.
It was bad.
It almost killed me. People were like, whoa. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I should probably wrap up pretty soon here. I have to go down to Sticky's birthday. But yeah, I mean, it's just, if you're not passionate about something, and you don't, it's always about just moving forward, right? What's your next step? Don't get stuck.
Well, and you know how, the whole finish line, and I think this would be a decent place to leave off of, at least talking about it. You want to know my finish line? Is dying. And I know that sounds very negative, but in my head it's not. Because I'm not done until I'm dead. Which means I'm still alive. I still have things I need to accomplish. Mm-hmm. Whether you believe in God or the universe, there's a reason we're all here. If I'm still breathing, I have not finished what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
So I can't stop. So my eventual finish line is legitimately dying, is death. That's it, obviously, because that's the end. But I am not done until I'm dead. I've had really good friends who are really good people that have died. And thinking about them and the people that they were and me being alive and thinking about people that just suck being alive. I'm just like,
people that suck at being alive. That sounds funny, but that's so fucking true. Like, I suck at living.
there's some people that I know that I don't like very much. That used to be very close to me.
Mm-hmm.
That I just, I'm like, why did this really good person die and you're still a piece of shit? But
yeah,
aside from that, me being alive means I'm not done.
Yep.
So I need to figure out what it is, and that's the problem with the program. From what I can see, is the finish line is just being clean, but like, that's not it. There's still legitimately just normal life after that. So you got to figure out past that.
It's same thing with like when people peak in high school, right? In college, like you have to understand that there's always more. Like every time that you accomplish something, every time that you think that you have peaked, you have to find your next high mark, your next high water mark, whatever that is. You have to keep doing that. Don't look for fucking retirement. Don't look for, I have to make this much money and I'll be happy, because you won't.
Nope.
Because what makes you happy is knowing that you are getting closer to a goal. And if your goal is very specific, which it should be, because then you know exactly what you need to accomplish, once you accomplish that, make another one immediately. Give yourself a day, or whatever it is, to say, okay, I did it, congratulations to me, fucking hoorah, and then next one, because it's always about the process.
Well, that's why,
always the process.
5-year goals, you should have a 5-year goal every year. Like, it needs to be different. Like,
yeah.
That way, once you hit, in 5 years, when you hit your 5-year goal from 5 years ago, you should have another 5-year goal. Like, you're never done till you're dead.
That's why I do 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. Or what was I?
I think I did 1 through 5.
I did one. The last one I did. Yeah, I need a 10 year, but it's just I'm just kind of in that process right now where it's like I don't really know. I'm trying to work out what my goals are going to be. I need to figure out what this next year is going to bring me. But yeah, I mean, yeah, your goal, your finish line should be death, and be fucking scared of death. As dark as that is, man, be fucking scared of it, because that's when it ends.
Just say, live in the way that if you are there tomorrow or tonight, you're okay with it.
Exactly. That's the goal, is getting to your deathbed and thinking, you know what?
No regrets.
I actually, yeah, exactly. Like, no regrets. Again, another cliche, but once you're there, live your life as if you were to be on your deathbed, that you would be okay with dying, and be able to say, I'm okay with dying, and not be scared at that moment.
Cool. Deuces.